Sun Sun Villano, truthless of Shinovar, wore white on the day he was to kill a king. I'm pretty sure that's word for
I'm pretty
word.
sure you have that memorized. That's pretty impressive. Sometimes the prize is not worth the cost. The means by which we achieve victory is as important as the victory itself.
Dalinar Colon, I assume.
Dalinar Colon.
What's up, Knights Radiant of the world?
Shard blade bearers.
It is I, Brendan,
and
Windrunner.
And I, Bridget. I'm also a windrunner. I feel lame. How do you make any other choice?
Yeah. It's tome time.
Oh,
Was that a pleasant one?
Yeah, I like that one.
Would you actually think that you're like a windrunner? Like, is that what you would pick?
Yeah, I would.
I mean, yeah.
The only other one that I might possibly consider is an edge dancer.
I was gonna say edge dancer sounds fun.
I think that would
but
be
like,
really cool.
I want to fly, bro.
Yeah.
I think personality-wise, I don't know if I'm a windrunner.
No.
But based on what I want,
I'm a fly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So obviously today we're gonna talk about the Way of Kings. It's right there.
Ta-da! I'm gonna give you a brief little idea of what's going on in this book.
And then we're gonna tell you why you should read it if you haven't already.
Which would be crazy if you haven't already.
Yeah.
Roshar is a world of stone and storms. Uncanny tempests of incredible power sweep across the terrain so frequently that they have shaped civilization. It has been centuries since the fall of the 10 consecrated orders known as the Knights Radiant, but their shardblades and shardplate remain. Wars were fought for them and won by them. One such war rages on a ruined landscape called the Shattered Plains. There, Kaladin, who traded his medical apprenticeship for a spear to protect his little brother, has been reduced to slavery.
Bum, bum, bum. So, The Way of Kings, Book 1 of the Stormlight Archive, is an epic fantasy novel.
Yeah.
It's a damn novel. This bitch is thick as hell, dude.
It's so big. It's so big.
Who likes this book?
This book is for people that already know that they love fantasy.
Yeah.
This book is for people who like to spend time getting a world built.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I would say if you like, well, I think the obvious one is like Robert Jordan Wheel of Time type fantasy. This is a good one for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like more of those like grand
the big old boys.
Yeah.
This ain't your intro to fantasy.
Really.
Yeah.
Or to Brandon Sanderson.
Well, I think.
Well, that's you.
I think
you read Tress first.
Yeah, I don't count that one. I think that like if you already know that you like fantasy a lot, you can start with The Way of Kings.
That's fair.
It's not hard to read.
No.
It's just big.
It's just kind of daunting.
And it's really good. So it being big is good.
Matter.
Like I liked that about it.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So why do you love this book, and what did you rate it? I rated it 4.25 stars.
I gave this a 5 stars.
Perfect. Wow.
I loved the intro to this.
Damn.
I loved it. It was so heartwarming. That's like the best way I can think of to describe this book.
I mean, no. Not till there's a part that's heartwarming.
A part?
Yeah.
All of Bridge 4.
Yeah, a lot of the book, the main character wants to.
Well, yeah, but like.
Do the bad thing.
Yeah, you're right.
I think this book's depressing.
I guess that's fair. But when I think about this book, that's not what I think about.
Oh, yeah. Well,
when I look back on this book, it is like tender.
Yeah.
Like the beginning of something so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's about perseverance, and it's about like finding your people and supporting them through the hard stuff, and I don't know, just about like good humans.
Yeah.
Getting together and showing up for each other.
The characters in this book are peak, dude.
They really are.
Like Kaladin Stormblessed, your intro to Kaladin as a slave is so good, and you immediately are like wanting him to win.
Mm-hmm.
And following his ups and downs and various
adventures
trials throughout the book is it's just so engaging.
Yeah. He's
And
one
then-
of those where I feel like sometimes when you read fantasy, it can be like sometimes I get annoyed at the main character always ending on top. Like
Yeah.
they always win. And
Yeah.
I feel like this book, I genuinely don't ever see how that is possible.
No.
Like the way that he constructs this story in a way that feels good and like things come to an end.
I mean, he loses more than he wins in this book.
Well, for sure.
Yeah.
But I also think that I don't know, like I feel as though it's nice that it doesn't just come easy.
Yeah.
The wins
Yeah.
that he gets, he works for,
Yeah.
you know. And I like that.
Yeah. I very much agree. I think I mean, we're only talking about one out of like the multiple characters
Yeah.
that are in this book,
Yeah,
but like
so fair.
he a lot of the parts that I like about his like plot line in this book are like the really dark, like really
Yeah.
hard times that
Yeah.
he goes through and like how he overcomes them,
That's super
kind
fair. Kind of.
of.
Maybe not overcomes, but at least
Deals with them, how he
yeah,
handles it.
perseveres,
Yeah.
pushes through.
Yeah, like you were saying before.
Yeah,
There's other characters in this book, and they're all great.
there.
I don't-
It's a good book for characters.
if I start talking about them too much, I'm gonna
We'll never
spoil it
stop
on
talking,
accident.
yeah.
Yeah.
What are your favorite parts?
The characters.
The characters
That's
is
what
the
I was.
best.
Yeah. I mean, this was a book where like I don't think I really thought about the themes very much in the first book.
Yeah.
Like it definitely took reading a couple more because I was just.
Engrossed in
I
the
mean,
story.
the characters are amazing, and then it's also like really, really cool action.
Yeah,
and the
and-
stakes in this book, in book one, are already like pretty high. Yeah.
And I mean, this is a shock to no one, but Brandon just builds the coolest worlds.
Yeah.
It's so fun to exist in what he makes. Like it genuinely reading his books feels like an escape from reality to me.
Yeah,
It's
and
the best.
I think this book is an intro to that world. Like I think there's a lot of
Sure.
really cool stuff that he's built in this world, but there's also a lot of things that you are going to be wondering about
Mhm.
when you finish this book. Not in a necessarily a bad way, but
In a way that makes you want to read the next
read
one.
more. Yeah.
So fair. It is a wild and emotional ride, and you will be surprised at how quickly you can get through 1,000 pages.
Yeah. I think, 'cause, like you said this a little bit before, like people will be like, "Oh, this isn't the one you want to read first from
Mhm.
Brandon Sanderson." I just don't think that that's true personally, me myself.
That's fair.
If you're already a fantasy fan, I would not be scared of this book or this series. Like it is a very long series, but it goes by so fast, especially with his prose. Like it's so
Easy to
you
read.
just you're not going to be like questioning much. I feel like you
Yeah.
know
He does a good job of just
tells you what's happening.
telling you what's going on.
Yeah.
Not making you have to like puzzle your way through things
Right.
necessarily. That's a good point. That's fair. I think usually the only reason I recommend Mistborn first is just because it's smaller and shorter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that book 2 of Mistborn, at least the first third of it, was harder for me to read than, like, to get into than most of the Stormlight Archive, with the exception of Wind of Truth.
Interesting. I definitely I can't now it's all blurring together, but there was one book in this series that was really rough for me.
It was Oathbringer
It was
for you.
definitely Oathbringer.
Yeah, I loved
So-
Oathbringer.
I like the end of Oathbringer.
Yeah.
I just had a struggle there. Anyway, we don't need to get into that. That was too much.
I don't know what else is there to say about
I feel
The Wave Kings.
as though if you have decided that you'd like to read fantasy and you've read a few,
Mhm.
this book and particularly this series is just a rite of passage. Like
Sure.
if you haven't read it yet, it's not if, it's a when. Like this has
Yeah.
to belong on your TBR. It has to be one you consume. This is probably like one of those books that will or a series that I feel like is gonna kind of hold up. Like people will
Yeah.
still talk about it in years and years and years.
I
So
think that like if you're a fantasy fan, like a high fantasy or an epic fantasy fan, like there's no reason why you wouldn't like this book.
agreed. Totally.
Unless
It's not your type of book.
but
you
it
don't
can't. It has
Well,
all
I mean,
the.
like, not your genre. If this is
Yeah,
your
if it's
genre,
not
you
your
enjoy
genre,
it. Yeah,
Oh, there's no romance. So if you're a fantasy fan that cares about romance, there's not.
that's super fair.
There's
in
not
this one.
that.
Yeah. In the
But
series, but not in this
I
one.
mean, kind of in the series, but it's not like romance.
Well,
Like
no,
there's a
but
romantic relationship, but they're not like.
There's a few, yeah.
They're not like.
Don't come for my favorite romantic relationship. I will fight you.
Your favorite romantic relationship?
In the very last book, we talked about it in depth.
Oh, you're talking about this. I thought you were talking about not this series.
Oh.
I'm just saying it's not like a smutty relationship.
Oh, no.
Is what I was trying to get
But
at.
it also, there is some.
I was just gonna say in a way more graphic, like sentence than that, and I decided not to. In hindsight, I'm glad I did that. I'm glad I didn't say what I was gonna say.
Well, bummer. Maybe next time I'll coax it out of you.
No, I'll bleep it. I'm the editor, and I'll bleep it.
I'm the editor.
Yeah. It's just good shit.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm not being very.
We're not convincing you well enough. Listen.
Yeah.
Kaladin is the guy, okay?
He is.
You will never read a character like Kaladin, ever.
Yeah, I mean, not only Kaladin, but like Adolin, Dalinar, Wit, Shallan.
Navati.
I wanted to. I was gonna. That's what I was gonna say. There's like so many others, but they're just not in this book.
In this one, yeah.
Also, the ending of this book is like. I mean, for those of you who know what a Sanderlanche is, it's like the first Sanderlanche, right, of the thing.
Yeah.
And I think I like texted you as right when I was reading, and I was like, "This is the craziest thing I've ever read. What is happening?" Like, it's.
That's so true. I don't think you experience reading something like that very often.
No.
Like, it's a very unique experience to get to read the end of his books.
It's very, 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 very fun and emotional, and
very fun. It's like. Maybe this is just a core memory for me, but those times when you were a teenager and you were supposed to be in bed, but you had the flashlight over the book at 2 a.m.
Yeah, you're under the blanket with the flashlight, and it's like a unique like book experience. Like I feel like I watch a lot of movies, and there's a lot of like endings to movies or like climaxes of movies that are very exciting and like heart pumping, but it's not the same feeling as like reading in a book, because in a book it's like prolonged.
Yeah.
And you've put
250 pages versus.
Yeah, and previously to those 250 pages, you've put in already hours of work. It's not work, like it's a hobby, obviously.
Yeah, but
to like get to this point.
Yeah.
So it's like a lot of catharsis, and you're feeling a lot of emotions,
Yeah.
Whereas a movie, it's like don't get me wrong, like I can get similar feelings from like watching a movie, but you don't have the same like amount of time put into. You've watched 75 minutes or whatever. You know what I mean?
So fair. That's a very good point.
I just think that the endings to his books, and specifically this one, are just like pretty unique.
Crazy. Yeah, I totally agree.
And
it's an experience every reader should have.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, it's a good time.
Read it.
Read this book.
All right.
Read this book.
Any closing remarks?
In closing, life before death.
Journey before destination.
Strength before weakness.
The night's radiant will rise again, or something. I don't remember. It's on the back of the book. All right, read the book, idiots.
Okay, bye.